Welcome, Nature of New York students. Today we're going to learn about the scientific method. As human beings, we are inherently curious. We are constantly trying to understand the world in which we live. Did you ever see a flock of geese or a flock of birds flying in V formation and wonder why they do this? These are just some of the patterns we may see in nature. Science is a fundamental approach to discover the processes that lead to the patterns we see in nature. In the words of E.O. Wilson, science as a process is a systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe. Science and all its branches are a body of knowledge that builds upon itself in a systematic process. In order to organize this pursuit of knowledge and integrate new knowledge, a standardized process called the scientific method was introduced. In this slide, we see the scientific method expressed as a graphic image. First, we pose a question. We do some background research and construct a hypothesis based upon our background research. This could be a pattern that we observe. Then we design an experiment that we can test this hypothesis. We analyze the results and we determine is the hypothesis true or false. Then we report our results and then we try and repeat this process again. Einstein said it perfectly well. Try and keep it simple during your lab reports. How do we write up our conclusions? In the scientific method, we distill our conclusions in a lab report. The basic format of a lab report will include a title or a hypothesis, or just have the hypothesis written into the introductory paragraph. Also include materials, procedures, results, and all conclusions. This report must be typed. The lab report. The lab report includes a title, which is a brief, concise, yet descriptive title, which is a statement of the problem. What questions are we trying to answer? Include any preliminary observations or background. Then we include a hypothesis. Write a possible solution for the problem. Make sure this possible solution is a complete sentence. Make sure the statement is testable and repeatable. In our materials section, we make a list of all the materials used in the lab and also our procedure. We write a paragraph which explains what we did in the lab, include all little details in terms of the procedure. The results section is just simply the results of your data. It should include any tables, observation, or charts and you got to make sure it's clearly labeled. Okay, in our conclusions, we either accept or reject our hypothesis. You need to explain why you accepted or rejected the hypothesis. You should also include a summary of the data by summarizing key data here. However, do not recopy your data sets. That was already done. Okay, another thing, list one thing that you learned and how it applies to a real-life situation or how it even applies to your life. And then discuss possible sources of error that may have occurred. So, why do birds fly in a V formation? Well, after much testing, scientists have concluded that birds fly in a V formation to one, maintain visual eye contact with one another. They also can reduce drag by up to 65%. Thus, the flock can extend its range by up to 71%. In fact, modern air forces use the same formations for the same reasons as birds. Pretty nifty, huh?